She left me for her coworker, then texted, "Please, he dumped me, take me back," 6 months later. I replied, "New phone, who dis?" When she saw my engagement announcement to her former best friend, the begging turned to rage. I, 29 male, got the "we need to talk" text from Natalie, 27, 8 months ago. We'd been together for 4 years, living together for 2. I was literally shopping for rings, had 3 jewelers' websites bookmarked on my laptop, and a folder labeled vacation pics that was actually full of proposal ideas. She came home from her team-building retreat on a Friday. I'd made her favorite dinner, that complicated risotto she always asked for on special occasions. Had wine ready. She walked in, saw the setup, and her face just crumbled. "We need to talk." The risotto went cold. She sat me down and launched into this speech about how she'd developed feelings for Trevor from her accounting department, how it just happened and she couldn't control it. The whole thing sounded rehearsed. She probably practiced it in her car, or worse, with him. "How long?" I asked. "Does it matter?" "How long, Natalie?" She looked at the floor. 3 months, 3 months, 12 weeks, roughly 90 days of me cooking dinners while she was texting him. 3 months of her telling me she loved me every morning while thinking about him. 3 months of me planning our future while she was planning her exit. "The retreat?" I asked. We shared a room." I didn't yell, didn't cry, didn't throw anything, just said okay and stood up to go pack. "That's it? Just okay? You're not gonna fight for us?" I actually laughed. "Us? There is no us. You made sure of that when you spent 3 months sneaking around with Trevor." She looked offended. Actually offended that I wasn't begging her to stay or making some grand romantic gesture to win her back from the guy she'd been cheating with. "I thought you loved me," she said. "I did, past tense. You killed that when you chose him." I packed my stuff that night. She followed me around the apartment, alternating between justifying her actions, "You were always working, I work 9 to 5, and trying to make me the bad guy. This is why I fell for Trevor. He actually shows emotion." The kicker? While I was packing, her phone kept lighting up with texts. The contact name was just T. She didn't even have the decency to be subtle about it. I crashed with my buddy Jerome that weekend. Blocked her on everything except email because we had apartment stuff to sort out. Lease was in both our names, had to deal with utilities, that whole mess. Started hitting the gym at 5 a.m. every day. Not for some revenge body transformation, but because I needed somewhere to put all this rage that wasn't at the bottom of a whiskey bottle. Plus, exhausting myself physically meant I could actually sleep instead of laying awake thinking about all the signs I'd missed. 2 weeks after I moved out, her best friend Jasmine reached out via Instagram. "Jasmine, hey, I know this is probably weird, but I wanted you to know I had no idea about Trevor. I'm disgusted. You didn't deserve any of that. Thanks, I appreciate you reaching out. I'm serious." I told her she's trash for this. 4 years down the drain for some guy at work? We're done. I can't be friends with someone who could do that. I figured it was just talk. Friends say things when emotions are high, then they make up over brunch and mimosas. But Jasmine actually meant it. She blocked Natalie everywhere, left their shared yoga class, even dropped out of their book club. We grabbed coffee a few weeks later. Just to talk. She was dealing with losing her best friend of 10 years. I was dealing with losing what I thought was my future wife. Trauma bonding, I guess. She told me things I didn't know, like how Natalie had been complaining about me for months before the affair started. Apparently I was too predictable and boring and acted like an old married man. This from the woman who had a panic attack when I suggested we try a new Thai place instead of our usual Italian spot. She actually said you were too stable, Jasmine told me. Like that was a bad thing. Too stable? Her exact words were, "He's got his whole life planned out and it's suffocating." Meanwhile, she's been talking about wedding Pinterest boards since your 2nd anniversary. Update 1. Last week, I'm at Jerome's place for our regular Thursday game night. We're 3 hours into a Settlers of Catan marathon when my phone buzzes. Unknown number. Usually I ignore these, but I was expecting a delivery notification. "Please don't hang up, it's me. I know you blocked me everywhere, but I need to talk to you. Trevor and I are over. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I miss what we had. I miss you. Can we please just talk?" Just one coffee? I screenshot it and replied, new phone who dis. The texts started flooding in immediately. Stop playing games, you know who this is. We were together 4 years. You can't just throw that away. I know I hurt you, but people make mistakes. Please just one coffee, one conversation. I'm outside your apartment. Your car isn't here. Where are you? That last one made me actually laugh out loud. She went to our old apartment. I'd moved 3 months ago to a better place. Downtown loft, exposed brick, the works. Half the price of our old place since I didn't need a 2-bedroom anymore. I didn't respond to any of it. Just blocked the number. But she kept getting new ones. Must have gone through 5 burner phones in 3 days. From her increasingly unhinged texts and voicemails, yeah, she left those too, I pieced together what happened. Trevor dumped her for a 22-year-old intern named Becca. The same intern Natalie had been mentoring for the past 2 months. Apparently Trevor had been hooking up with Becca for weeks while still with Natalie. She was completely blindsided and never saw it coming and thought what they had was special. The irony was completely lost on her. She kept saying we were meant to be, and Trevor was just a mistake, and she chose wrong and realized what she lost. Like I'm some backup plan she can just reactivate when plan A crashes and burns. One voicemail was 15 minutes long. 15 minutes. Just her crying and talking about all our good times and how she'd do anything to get me back. How she'd go to couples therapy, delete all her male contacts, even suggested tracking apps so I'd always know where she was. Psycho behavior, honestly. Update 2. Here's where it gets interesting. Remember Jasmine? Natalie's ex-best friend? We'd kept hanging out. Nothing romantic at first, legitimately just friends who'd both been burned by the same person. We'd grab coffee, hit the gym together sometimes. She's into powerlifting, which is badass. Occasionally do dinner. But over the months, something shifted. Coffee turned into long dinners. Dinners turned into movie nights. Movie nights turned into more. We took it slow. Neither of us wanted it to be some weird revenge thing. It just developed naturally. She made me laugh again. She called me out on my BS. She actually communicated instead of letting things fester for 3 months, then jumping on a coworker. Last month, I proposed. It wasn't some grand gesture. We were at the sushi place where we'd had our first real date, not the trauma bonding coffee sessions, but an actual date. I'd been carrying the ring for a week, waiting for the perfect moment. Then she started laughing at something dumb on her phone, snorted a little, got embarrassed about the snort, and I just knew. Marry me. She looked up, saw the ring, and said, obviously, yes. But let me finish this California roll first. That's my fiancé, folks. We decided to wait to announce it. Wanted to tell our families first, make sure everyone was cool with it. My mom was thrilled. She never liked Natalie anyway. Too high maintenance, she'd said, and her laugh is fake. This past weekend, we posted it. Simple photo of her hand with the ring, tagged at the sushi place. Caption just said, she said yes, after finishing her California roll. Within 45 minutes, my phone was ringing. Unknown number, but from our area code. I knew who it was, but I answered anyway. Call it morbid curiosity. Are you actually kidding me right now? Hello to you too, Natalie. Jasmine? You're marrying Jasmine, my best friend? Former best friend, and yes. You absolute piece of... How long has this been going on? Were you cheating on me with her? We didn't start dating until 2 months after you left me for Trevor. But thanks for the accusation. Real rich coming from someone who spent 3 months in another man's bed. This is sick. You did this to get back at me. Natalie, and I cannot stress this enough, not everything is about you. I fell in love with an amazing woman who happens to have great judgment in dropping toxic friends. She went nuclear. Started screaming about how we'd planned this all along, how we were disgusting, how we deserved each other, which, yeah, we do, thanks. Then she said something that made me see red. I bet you were always into her. That's why you were so calm when I left. You already had your backup ready. Project much? I was calm because I was in shock that someone I loved could betray me so easily. But sure, make yourself feel better by pretending I'm as garbage as you are. She hung up, but the text started immediately. New numbers all night long. Threats to expose us. For what? Promises to ruin our engagement. Claims she was going to tell everyone the truth. Jasmine and I just sat on my couch reading them out loud and laughing. Some highlights. You can't marry her. She knows all your embarrassing secrets because I told her everything. She's only with you to hurt me. This is psychological warfare. I'm going to object at your wedding. That last one made us decide to hire security for the wedding, just in case. Update 3. 3 days after we announced our engagement, things escalated. It started small. Natalie showing up at the coffee shop where Jasmine works part-time. Not ordering anything, just sitting there staring. Then she was at my gym, on the treadmill behind me. Then at the grocery store, the park where I walk my neighbor's dog for extra cash. Always watching, never approaching. Just there. I documented everything. Photos, timestamps, witnesses. Jerome came with me to the gym a few times just to verify I wasn't being paranoid. But the breaking point was Sunday dinner at Jasmine's parents' house. We were all there. Her parents, her brother, his wife, their kids. Nice family dinner. Her mom had made this incredible lasagna. Doorbell rings. It's Natalie. She walks in like she belongs there. Big smile, holding a wine bottle. Hi everyone, sorry I'm late. Jasmine's mom confused. Natalie, what are you doing here? I came for Sunday dinner, like always. Natalie, you haven't been invited here in 6 months, you need to leave. That's when Natalie dropped the act. I need to tell you all something about your daughter. She launched into this speech about how Jasmine had stolen me, how we'd been having an emotional affair while I was with her, how Jasmine was a homewrecker who couldn't be trusted. Jasmine's dad, who I've literally never heard raise his voice, stood up and said, "Young lady, the only homewrecker in this story is you. You cheated on that boy for months. Jasmine had the sense to cut you off for it. Now get out of my house." Plot twist. Jasmine had told her family everything months ago. They knew about the cheating, about Trevor, about how Jasmine and I got together. They were team us from the start, but Natalie didn't take it well. She grabbed a vase off the mantel and threw it at the wall. Not at anyone, just at the wall. But it wasn't just any vase. It was an antique Jasmine's grandmother brought from Italy in the 1960s. It shattered. Pieces everywhere. The kids started crying. Jasmine's mom called 911. Natalie tried to leave, but Jasmine's brother blocked the door. He's 6'4" and played college football. She wasn't getting past him. Cops arrived. Natalie was arrested for destruction of property and criminal trespass. The vase was worth $3,200, according to the insurance appraisal Jasmine's mom had. She called me from jail, asking me to bail her out because this is all your fault and Trevor won't answer his phone. I laughed so hard I started hiccuping, then hung up. Update 4. Natalie's parents bailed her out the next day. She's facing criminal charges plus a civil suit from Jasmine's family for the vase. But she wasn't done making terrible decisions. Remember Trevor? The coworker she threw away our relationship for? He reached out to me on LinkedIn. Hey man. I know this is weird, but I wanted to apologize for everything. Also thought you should know, Natalie's been telling people at work that you're stalking her and that you turned her best friend against her. She's making the workplace really uncomfortable. HR is now involved. Just wanted to give you a heads up in case you need documentation for any legal stuff. Apparently, after Trevor dumped her and she couldn't get her job back, she'd been using work as her platform to play victim. Telling everyone I was harassing her, that Jasmine and I were following her around town, that we were psychologically torturing her. I sent Trevor everything. Every text she'd sent from burner phones. The security footage from the coffee shop showing her following Jasmine, the arrest report, the restraining order I'd just filed. He forwarded it all to HR. She got fired. Not for the relationship with Trevor, that was consensual, but for creating a hostile work environment, lying to HR, using company resources for personal harassment. She'd been using her work laptop to track my social media, missing work due to her arrest without notifying anyone. The best part? She listed me as her emergency contact when she started that job. So when HR couldn't reach her after her no-show jail, they called me. Hi, is this the emergency contact for Natalie? Not anymore, but what's wrong? She hasn't shown up for work in 2 days. Oh, she's in county jail, arrested for destruction of property and criminal trespass. I see. Thank you for the information. Final update. 3 months have passed since the restraining order was granted. The wedding is next month. Last week we had our engagement party. Small thing, maybe 30 people. Jasmine's family, my family, close friends. It was perfect. Until Natalie's mom showed up. Not Natalie, her mom. She came with an envelope and an apology. Inside was a check for $3,200. For the vase, she said, and for everything else. Turns out, after getting fired and arrested, Natalie moved back in with her parents. Her mom found her journal where she'd been planning ways to ruin our wedding. Detailed plans about objecting during the ceremony, accidentally spilling red wine on Jasmine's dress, even something about releasing crickets in the reception hall. Her own mother was so disgusted that she kicked her out. "I raised her better than this," her mom said. "Or I thought I did. I'm sorry for whatever I did that made her think this behavior was acceptable." We tried to refuse the check, but she insisted. Jasmine donated it to a women's shelter. As for Natalie, last update from the rumor mill, she moved to another state to live with a cousin. Still posts cryptic quotes about betrayal and karma on Instagram. Jerome still follows her for entertainment value and sends me the worst ones. Recent favorite? The universe tests your heart by sending fake people disguised as soulmates. Ma'am, you were the fake person. She sent one last email before the restraining order was finalized. "I hope you're happy. You won. You took everything from me." I didn't take anything. She threw it all away for a guy who was already shopping for her replacement. The wedding is in 3 weeks. Small ceremony, just family and close friends. Security will be there, just in case. Jasmine's walking down the aisle to an acoustic version of somebody that I used to know, because we're petty like that. My grandmother's ring, the one I'd been saving for the perfect proposal with Natalie, is now on Jasmine's finger. Grandma would have loved her. She always said, "Find someone who laughs at your worst jokes and calls you on your BS." Jasmine does both. Daily. Oh, and Trevor? He got dumped by the intern for a guy from IT. Apparently she was playing the whole accounting department. The circle of office drama continues, just without us in it. Life's funny. I thought my world was ending when Natalie left. Turns out it was just beginning. Since everyone keeps asking, yes, the restraining order is still active. No, I don't think she'll actually show up to the wedding. Jail time isn't worth it. And yes, Jasmine's dad is already practicing his "if anyone objects" death stare just in case.